All right, I'm not for sure how long my voice is going to last now, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with a quick Photoshop tutorial for right now. And we're going to again just start out with 800 by 800, and we're going to do deck plating. A lot of times this is called diamond plating or whatnot. It is a metal texture. Pardon me. So sorry about that. I'll try to edit that out. I really hope I do. We've already gone over one deck plating, but let's go ahead and talk about another one. So this time we're just going to do what's called a diamond stamp texture, something like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get a kind of a steel gray effect going on here, and that's just a gray background, and you guessed it, clouds. All right, and I'm going to go to my brushes, and I'm going to use those delightful scratches again. See, I never used that one before. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can see the entire brush. Except I meant to do that on a new layer. Hello. The reason I'm doing that is because I want the brush to take up the entire screen so that you don't see any areas where it's stopped. There's a little bit there. And let's go to another layer. I just like the ideas of having these on different layers. All right, and you know what? That right there is good enough. This is going to be a big area, so I don't want to get too busy with the scratches. All right, but I truly love those brushes. And I remember I just now forgot that I never posted that lady's name. Okay, note to myself, brushes. Okay, so there is just a basic uh, metal surface there. Um, just wonderful brushes. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a new document. And this time I'm just, something just beeped in my house again. I got to really find out what that is. No, it's not the phone. Anyhow, okay, moving on. I'm going to make this 80 by 80. And I'm going to create, first things first, I'm going to create a temporary layer that is nothing but a rectangle. So I'm going to use my marquee tool, and I'm going to make it 40 by 40, half the image size. And I'm going to just fill it with black, and then I'm going to go to select all, cut, and then edit, paste, and that centers that. See how you do that? That's just a quick trick that if you use your keyboard shortcuts and you do that with keyboard shortcuts alone, it's just a great way to center something automatically. Let Photoshop do the math and the work for you. All right, now what I need next, I need some ovals. And that's not quite lining up the way I wanted it, but that's okay because I forgot you need to make a new layer. There we go, close enough for government work. I'm going to bring that over there to the very edge. I'm going to duplicate it, bring this over here. And I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to, since it's in its own layer, I'm going to go select all, cut, copy, paste, boom. I'm going to collapse all these layers and then delete that layer. Okay, now you might be seeing a little bit of where I'm going with this. The trick is, though, needs to, let's see, what's the best way to do this mathematically? First, I need to make a copy of this either way. And you're thinking, well, now that makes no sense. Well, it will in just a moment, Grasshopper. Okay, Mr. Miyagi. I'm going to do an offset. And I'm going to go, let's see here, 0 horizontal. But I want to go 40. Was this thing 80? Yeah. That's a little bit, see how that's touching? We don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to go back just a little bit here. I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. You'll recognize this here in just a second, even if you don't know the name of it. I'm going to create a new layer of that. Turn it sideways. Offset. 40. Boom. Now, got that done. We're going to collapse that. We're going to go make a duplicate of it, and we're going to slide it over to the very side. Actually, we shouldn't even need to, yeah, we will need to do that. It's been a while since I've done this. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to do the exact same filter again. And that put the vertical bars at the center, move them to the top, and vice versa. Now we just duplicate this again. Let's see here, trying to get this to line up just right. That's probably it right there. All right. And I'm going to collapse all of this. And I'm going to select all. And actually, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to bring the lightness down as much as possible. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an edit, define pattern. And we'll just call this, let's see here, Diamond Plate 1. All right, now this is why I did that's why I did this in a separate document. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new layer in my other document, and I'm going to do edit, fill, pattern, and I'm going to go down to here. It looks like I got my background in there too. Dadgummit. Yes, I did. All right, let me go back over here. It selected everything. Let me go edit, define pattern, Diamond Plate 2. Now I'll go back over here and fill this. Go to edit, fill. All right. So there is that. Now, again, that's just a template. We're going to get rid of it. So I'm going to select it all by holding down the Command key, which I believe would be the Alt key on a PC. I'm going to turn this invisible. And I still forgot one last thing. I need to make a composite of all of these layers right here. because I don't want to destroy anything that I might need later. And I'm going to hit Control J. I'm not even for sure where that falls in within another keyboard shortcut, but I've never actually bothered to stop to look and see where it is up here. So let's just take a trip down memory lane. Probably under Layer. Layer via copy. All right. So now we've got a train going out by outside. I'm sure you can hear that. But I've got this pattern that was made from the composite layer, and all I have to do now is do a bevel and emboss, and there's your deck plating. And we'll do actually, let's see here. There we go. Do 135. We definitely want smooth inner bevel, obviously. We could try outer bevel, actually. It depends on the look you're going for. If you want these stamps to be much bigger looking, then you'll probably want to go with outer bevel. You can still kind of soften that up a little bit with size. So, I mean, this is where you just find something that suits you. I'm going to go back to inner bevel. I mean, who knows? You might actually be able to throw in some pillow emboss in there. Although in this case, that looks kind of silly. But we're going to do emboss or inner bevel. Actually, I'm liking emboss a little bit more. You just find the settings that you like. There we go. I'm kind of digging that right there, because you want to make it look like all of these ovals have been pressure stamped upwards, because on a ship, where your whole environment might suddenly tilt one way or the other, decks have to be very non-slippery. And I know this, again, just from going through factories and whatnot. I also know it from being in the U.S. Navy. This is not how the U.S. Navy actually runs their decks, but anyhow, and that would be very painful. But most people that don't know that, they're not going to know not to. And that's not what they would do. It still looks like a spaceship deck to me. Since I've never seen a spaceship deck, and I'm willing to bet probably you haven't either. At least a spaceship deck from the far future. All right, and we might do a little bit of outer glow. As well, to really punch up the illusion of depth. All right. I'm just going to leave that just the way it is. Kind of got that dirt look to it now. Drop shadow might be overkill, but I just want to try it real quick. There we go. That grunges it up some. Now, the only uncool thing about this is that when we go to save for web to test to see if this thing is going to wind up tiling or not seamlessly, or not. It's probably going to go. It's probably going to have a little bit of a seam to it. Again, because of the annoying way that bevel and emboss and drop shadow and outer glow work. And yeah, right there it is. You see that seam right there? That's naughty. That's not nice. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a free transform here. There's two different ways we can do this. I'm going to press my luck. I'm going to do, I've renamed this here. I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to enlarge it just a little bit, and I know that I keep saying never enlarge pixels, and I stand by that, but in this case, A, I'm being a hypocrite, and B, I'm doing it just a little bit, although I can actually tell a little bit of pixelation there, so that's shame on me. But desperate times, desperate measures. Now what I'm going to do, let's see if that got rid of it, or Photoshop's going to be completely uncooperative. I want to bet that it's going to be completely uncooperative. And I'm also going to bet that that's mostly because I didn't line it up right. But yes, I managed to eyeball it just right. There's absolutely no seams between these tiles now. So we bring this into Blender, and we apply this to the spaceship deck or wall, or whatever you want to use it for, whatever that surface is going to be. It's going to look like the deck of a spaceship. So there you have it. There is the deck or wall or some other bulkhead of a spaceship. And these raised surfaces right here, they kind of like act as cleats on a football player's shoes. The grip, whatever is being put on top of them. So if you've got sneakers or whatever footwear you got on, preferably sneakers, and you're walking across a deck that has a stamped raised surface like this, and this alternating pattern of ovals or diamonds, your feet are going to grip the deck better. So if all of a sudden it tilts to the left or the right, you're not going to slide as much. And that's why real ships and whatnot and factories have floors like this. I've seen them in person. Loading docks have stuff like this all the time. So again, this is just a case of art imitating life, but you got to know about life in order to imitate it in art. All right, thanks for watching.